Hi, and welcome back to Tony's Cool Tools. Appreciate you stopping by. If you're new, thanks for looking at my channel. Well, it's been about a year since I purchased the WC68 Woodland Mills chipper shredder. Wanted to give you a little feedback, both positive and negative, on the unit, and to let you know what has happened within this year's time frame. First, there were basically 4 reasons for me to purchase this machine. Footprint, I'll explain that in a little bit. Cost was naturally a big one. Service was the third. And the fourth was the direct drive. And I'll show you that momentarily. A little backstory on the chipper, not this one, but my previous tractor came with a Jinma 6-inch chipper shredder. And I learned a lot from that unit, but I sold it for a couple of reasons. One, the maintenance on it was very difficult to do. Everything was bolted on the machine and you had to almost assemble the whole machine to grease it. The other thing is it had a fixed chute. It only shot in one direction, so you had to position your chipper in the right place, otherwise you were screwed. When I was doing my research on the chipper shredder, I narrowed it down to 3 units. The Woodland Mills 68, the Max 8800, and lastly was the Wallenstein. Ironically, I went ahead and purchased the Max 8800, left a deposit on it, and found out that it was going to take 6 or 8 weeks or even longer to get it. That was last year during COVID. Nobody had product, nobody had machines. You were at their mercy at getting anything. So I went ahead and put my name on the list. Well, within 24 hours I found out that I was contacted by Woodland Mills, because I was also on their list, that they did have a unit in stock and could ship it immediately. So I canceled my Woodmax 8800. And one of the main reasons too, which I'll show you momentarily, was direct drive versus belt drive. And I'll show you that in a moment. As I mentioned, one of the main reasons why I went with the Woodland Mills WC68 was the fact that it had a direct drive. And what I mean by that is the PTO from the tractor goes through the drive shaft and into the shaft of the machine. That turns the flywheel, or the big wheel with the cutters, inside the machine. Whereas the WC68, or the Woodmax, has 4 belts. Though it is PTO driven, the PTO drives the belts which drive the big flywheel. The other fact about this is this unit only has 1 belt right over here. This belt drives the hydraulic pump. So the PTO supplies the power. There's an idler pulley over here, and this belt basically just goes round, and this tensions, and the hydraulic fluid drives the gear that pulls the wood in. I'll show you that momentarily. Since we're on this side of the machine, I'll go ahead and cover all the features and benefits on this side. Firstly is I purchased as an accessory, it's approximately $65 or $70, the scabbard for the chainsaw. I use my small top handle and put it in. Just so you know, there isn't much room at the bottom right there, so a 20-inch bar is probably the max without you digging the bar in to the dirt when you lower the unit. It does come with a hydraulic adjustment. This control here, I I don't know how many feet per second it is, but this allows the in-feed roller, which I'll show you momentarily, to go quicker or slower. So if you want to, if you have small brush, you can put it quicker, and if you have very thick material, you slow it down. It will definitely cut the big, or it will chip the large pieces, but you have to slow it down. Right over here, you're looking at these springs. There's one on each side. This controls the amount of pressure on the in-feed wheel so that it grabs the material and pulls it in. And as I mentioned, the one belt operates this pump, so you don't need additional items to operate that pump, like a gear or anything. That one belt does it all. Here are the in-feed rollers, and this is 6 inches wide by 8 inches tall. Scratch that. It is 6 inches high by 8 inches wide. And this will allow, as you can see, there's more room in there. That wheel can go way up inside so that you can get a 6-inch piece of wood in here. Now let's be honest, I'm not going to be chipping 6 inches of wood. I'm going to save that for firewood. I'm going to do branches probably up to about 3 inches on this. One other cool feature about this, as opposed to my Jinma, is this rounded edge that they put on here. That allows the wood to come in. You can grab a large branch with that has suckers on the side of it, put it in, and it just glides across here, whereas my Jinma unit had sharp edges and would always catch. The red bar here is your control lever. Forward is in engaging the unit. In the middle is neutral, and all the way forward is reverse. So if you jam the in-feed wheel, you don't have to stop the machine or anything. You just push it forward and everything comes back to you. So that's a nice feature as well. As I mentioned in the intro, there's 4 reasons why I purchased this, and one of them was the footprint. This unit is the only one that I know of that folds up for storage or transportation. My trailer is 18 feet with the tractor, a bucket in the front, and the unit. If I leave this down, I can't close my gate. So I have to fold this up, and I have about 2 to 3 inch, or about a foot left. What I mean by that is I just lift this up, and as you can see, they even thought of a rubber foot there so you're not scratching the metal and having it rust. This sits on it. I gain about 2 feet now on this unit, and it's nice and compact. As I mentioned, maintenance is a major factor in this unit as far as how easy it is. My Jinma, I had to take it totally apart to grease it. With this unit, we have Zerk fittings on the U-joints. We have them on the pillow block here in front, the pillow block in the back, and for the pump, for the hydraulic pump. The other factor is how easy you can access the knives. You can fold that down, and you can easily get in here to work on anything you need, such as the knives, or clearing out if it plugs up, which it can do if you put punky material in it. But otherwise, it is extremely easy to operate. The hydraulic fluid is 5 gallons. It uses the ISO 32 hydraulic fluid, which you can get at any farm and ranch store. Or if you live in the southern states, the ISO, I believe it's 42 or 46, is great for the temperatures that are higher, like down south. The chute is easy to operate. You can rotate it 360 degrees, and you can also direct the position of the chips either downward or straight out and shoot probably 25 to 30 feet. Though the unit does come with a PTO shaft, in most cases you're going to have to cut it. I know in this unit I had to, and in several other attachments that I have purchased, the PTO does have to be shortened in most cases. The other thing is it is shear pin protected on the PTO shaft. It is a category 1 3-point hitch, and it is the quick hitch compatible. Several times there are branches that are just very gnarly and I don't have my chainsaw with me. So I found that the Fiskars loppers work excellent for this. And ironically, they store right in here very well and don't drag on the bottom. So that's an added benefit as well. Since COVID, we've all been aware of the term supply chain issues. I encourage you when purchasing your chipper, regardless of which manufacturer it is, to get a spare kit. Belts, knives, and bed blades. This happens to be the kit that Woodland Mills has. This kit is approximately $250, but it will stop you from chipping if you don't have this unit in the future and something happens to your knives. Granted, these knives are reversible, so you have two sides to them, so double the amount of time you're cutting. And naturally, we all watch out for metal and rocks, but eventually they do get in. And I forgot to mention a couple of things. One, the unit weighs 710 pounds, makes a great ballast. Also, the current price that I've seen on their webpage for the WC68 is $29.99. I think I paid probably around $2,600. And then there's $300 or $350 flat rate shipping, which is very reasonable when you look at what's going on in the shipping industry today. In conclusion, I'm sure there's a few questions you're going to ask, and that is, 1, would I buy this again? 2, did I get my money's worth? And 3, what are maybe some of the issues that I've had? To answer the first one, absolutely, I would buy this again. It is a well-made machine. I feel I have gotten my money's worth out of it, and I will tell you in the last 2 to 3 weeks, this accessory or this attachment has been on this tractor non-stop. Can't tell you how many hours are on it, but there's a lot due to the tornadoes and straight line winds that came through. Basically paid for itself if I had to rent a chipper multiple times. Having 6.5 acres or 6+ acres here, I know I'm going to have a lot more chipping and shredding to do, and the byproduct is awesome as well. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of it. And remember, pass it forward, make the world a better place. Don't be a tool. Watch Tony's Cool Tools. Thanks. Have a great day.